Well, the weekend has begun and is so chaotic. So we're going to be reviewing ChocoPro with 340 and 341, two shows from two different days. One that was already pre-taped, but it was released right before the next one was actually a live stream. And of course, we have the latest Stardom show, Gild Rush. We do have the Moneyball tournament taking place as well. Of course, the Wonder of Stardom belt is defended, and so is the High Speed belt. And then finally, AEW Full Gear. We have tons of matches taking place not only in the 0 hour, with several title matches being defended, the ROH World title and the tag team titles. But we also have, of course, the international title, the TBS, the uh, the women's title, and of course the world title. We're all looking forward to see what's going on, and of course a very interesting surprise that we did not anticipate, but I guess many fans could be very happy with it. And of course, to cap things up, we have some news updates that tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. So let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also do some discussion videos, talk about, of course, certain topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, matches, whatever we want to talk about. We also do some news updates in case we're unable to do it here on this episode. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on the subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of of, daily reviews and other cool stuff. And also, if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment down below. Now let's begin with ChocoPro 334. This is just taped back on the 14th of November. Our opening match, we have Sawadi's Kamen teaming up with Mochi Natsumi. They take on Sayaka Obihiro and of course Antonio Honda. Pretty good match, not gonna lie. I thought it was a very decent one. Um, I cannot recall if Sawadi and Mochi Natsume were teamed up, but it was very interesting. But however, it was of course Antonio Honda who picked up a very fantastic win onto Sawadi Kamen when he applied a bridge pinfall onto him, and it was over right from there. A very good one, I have to say. He has been picking up a good momentum, winning his matches. The next up is a very interesting singles match. We have Miya Yatsuba taking on what's her name? Oh yeah, Sayaka. Now Sayaka, as you know, I've been following her for quite a while. Has shown so much aggressiveness ever since she has grown so much as a pro wrestler. But she's facing against a wrestler who is a bit of the newcomer, and that plays out pretty well. However, Mia has shown a lot of promising. I mean, she has been with the promotion for over a year now, and she did pick up a good singles win. But however, she's facing someone who has a bit more experience than her, who's been like maybe 4 or 5 years in her wrestling career. But however, it was an amazing pinfall by Sayaka that picked up the win, giving Sayaka a very fantastic momentum. Now, our next match, we have a very interesting tag match. We have Masahiro Takanashi teaming up with Kurumi Higere from Prominence. They take on Dr. Gore and Mei Suga. Now, of course, at some point, Dr. Gore was about to do his little quips with, "Oh, you're sick," which of course normally would help. But however, in this case, it wasn't. It was Masahiro Takanashi who picked up a very impressive win onto Dr. Gore. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, for Unjunkin tournament, I wasn't too sure how this one was going to go, but I have to say it was very, very impressive. Uh, Somehow, I did not anticipate Dr. Gore to make it all the way to the finals and then winning the entire Jonkin tournament and get the piece of chocolate. So I thought it was pretty great. So I think that's pretty much it right now with this ChocoPro show. Let's move on to the next one, 341. Okay, ChocoPro 341. This is the much recent show. It happened also on the 18th of November. Of course, we got all 18 November shows we're going to do on this particular episode. So let's talk about it. ChocoPro 341 opened up with Bal Yanaki and Mei Shuga, aka the Best Bros, opening the show. Of course, giving the lowdown on the matches coming up. They are part of the main event where they team up with Dr. Gore to face on against their opponents that they'll be facing on Monday for the Gatoh Move Rivals show. However, we have plenty of shows taking place. Now, our first match, we have Antonio Honda and Tokiko Kihara dressed up like Chico Shikawa. They take on Hajime and Tamra from Heat Up Pro Wrestling, another promotion at another uh, part of Tokyo. I thought it was very interesting to see them. However, it seems that uh, Tamra had a was showing a bit of an attitude the way he is. But however, both Tokiko and Antonio, they all dressed up like Chi, kind of paying tribute to her. But I thought it was really nice. They did try to do some of her ways, but once again, Antonio Honda with the bridge pinfall onto Hajime gave them a big win for that. Next up, a very interesting tag match. We have Nonoka Seto teaming with Sayaka Obihiro. However, her sister, Miya Yatsuba, teams up once again with Mochi Natsumi. Now, one thing I like about this match recently, Miya and Mochi have been a quite of a stable tag team. I mean, the first time these two ever collided was during singles competition. Um, I thought it was very interesting that they team up more often. But however, Mia will be facing diagonally against her own sister, Nonoka. But of course, it was going to be a little bit of the hassle because, um, of course, Mia did mention when a few months when Nonoka debuted that they are going to be wrestling separate or some, once in a while they'll team up. But however, seeing Mochi and Nia, they have shown they are a capable tag team. It was Mochi who picked up the win by pinning Nona Gaseto, and it was over right from there. Next up, we have Kojio. They taking on Mitch Ryder. Now, I don't know who this guy is, but he seems like he knows what he's doing. However, he seems like he had a bit of fun, but however, it was a somewhat of a cutter by Kojio to pick up the win. I don't know who Mitch Ryder is, but I have to say he did a pretty good job. Now, our main event, we have a bit of a preview before this Monday. Sayaka teams up with CDK, consistent of Masahiro Takanashi and Chris Brooks, while their opponents is Dr. Gore and the Best Bros, Balin Aki and Mei Shuga. Now, if you guys remember this clearly, the Best Bros won recently the tag championships in a vacant spot during one of the last Gatoh Move shows. However, they just declared themselves to challenge their first challengers was the one team that defeated them, and that is of course CDK. About 2 or 3 years ago, CDK defeated the Best Bros to become tag champions. So basically, that loss is still weighing on them, so they feel like they have to rectify it. But however, they are in a trios match, but it was Chris Brooks who picked up the win when he pinned Dr. Gore. Now, our next match, our Genkon tournament, was very interesting. I wasn't too sure how this one was going to go, but Chris Brooks was able to pick up the win. It was been the first time in a while since he won Junkin, and it was pretty great. So I think I'm satisfied with this, and I think we're done with all of the ChocoPro stuff. So let's move on with Stardom Gold Rush. Okay, Stardom with Gold Rush. We opened up with the semifinals of the Moneyball tournament. Now, if those who don't remember the Moneyball, this is where, of course, the winners get like a boatload of cash. The first ones that ever actually participated, well, the winners were none other than Stars, consistent of Koguma, Azuki, and Mayu Itani, defeating Julia, Tekla, and Mai Sakurai when they screwed up big time when they accidentally knocked out the cash that was inside a bowl, but the general idea was to bring down the bowl, not the cash. But this time is a big chest of money. Now, our semifinals, our very first match, consistent of Hanako. She teams up with the members of God's Eye, consistent of Konami and Ami Sori. They take on the members of Stars, more specifically Saida, Hanan, and Azuki. Now, Koguma, as you guys know, she's out on injury, out due to precautions of an injury. I don't know about Mayu Iwatani. I know recently she was here in the States, but no word yet. But the match was pretty good, but I've had a feeling that this match was definitely going to go with Stars. The X factor of this match was none other than Hanako, who in fact has the least experience of this match. But it was, of course, Hanan with the 17 onto Hanako to pick up the win. Now, our second match in the semifinals of the Moneyball tournament, we have Oedo Tai, consistent of Ruka, um, Momo Watanabe, and Natsuko Tora. They take on the members of DDM, more specifically Body Body Bombers, Tekla, Mai Sakurai, and Julia. Now, keep in mind, last year these ladies were close in winning, but however, they did not get the job done. However, they have to go against one of the most dangerous groups in Stardom, Oedo Tai. However, in this particular match, it was um, Sakurai Mai with the Mai Pan roll onto Ruka to pick up the win. So they will be facing in the main event against the members of Stars. Our next match is the High Speed Championship. Momoka Hanazono taking on the champion Mei Sita. Now, I was fully aware in the past, what was it, a year ago, Momoka Hanazono has challenged for this high speed belt, but she only will accept it unless Stardom is in Osaka. If you guys don't know this or not, Momoka Hanazono is this Yoshi wrestler from the general vicinity. She doesn't travel that much outside of Osaka. And now, I did mention before that she should try to learn how to expand herself so much. But however, she faces against Mei Sita. I thought this match was going to be a lot of fun, a lot of characters. Not to mention, I always say that Momoka Hanazono is a terror in the ring. Now, I'm not talking about her, being a monster or that. I mean, she does unorthodox methods. But however, that didn't do any well for her because she ended up in the Rolling Star by Mei Sita to retain the championship. Next up, we have a very interesting three-way match. We have Zuzu Suzuki versus Azumi versus the return of Starlight Kid. I mean, it's great to see her back. We haven't seen Starlight Kid since near the end of the 5-star Grand Prix tournament. I thought it was very interesting to come in. However, of course, once again, her eternal foe and her duked at it at the near of the match. Once again, it was the Asumi Sushi onto Starlight Kid to pick up the win. However, during a promo by Azumi, she issued that she wants to be the next challenger for the New Japan Strong Women's title. Now, we know that Azumi has challenged for this belt before, and that belt, no, she hasn't challenged this belt before, but I think this is going to be an opportunity. I'm sure Julia will probably accept the challenge. Now, our next match is a UWF rules match. We have the Scandinavian fighter Elisa Inc. versus Sudi. So you probably will see a lot of kind of like the MMA style of this match into this, which of course is no secret. But however, it was a KO by Sudi to pick up the win onto Elisa Inc. I thought it was very fantastic, but yes, that's how it rolls up. Our next match, we have the Wonder of Stardom Championship, aka the White Belt. Um, Mirai defends her belt against Saori Inoue. Now, this particular match had a very interesting thing. Now, if you guys remember clearly, Mirai won this belt from Saori Inoue's friend and, of course, the leader of the Cosmic Angels, Tam Nakano. Now, Tam often criticized Mirai, saying, if you win this belt, you do not represent Stardom, because she always felt that Mirai is in it for herself. Tam always proven that she wants to represent Stardom in every way possible. And even Ami Sodi brought that up during a press conference, basically telling her that is Tam was right. Was she really not representing Stardom as she should have been? Because the way you look at it, Mirai was always been in it for herself. But however, you're facing a Saori Inouye who has represented won the top titles and represented the companies that she has worked for. Like for example, Ice Ribbon, um, a few Seedling, Actress Girls. She whenever she wants those top titles, she represents those companies proudly. But the obvious thing is, does Mirai actually has that? Well, I have to say the match was pretty amazing itself when I saw it. However, Mirai was so close in winning this match when she applied the Mirror Mirror Shock, and of course, the the match ended in time limit draw in 30 minutes. This is going to be one of those matches that, of course, Mirai would like to go back and redo again. So, but however, she is now in a panic mode about maybe Tam was right. Maybe she's not representing Stardom like she should have been. But we'll see what happens until then. Now, our main event is the finals of the Moneyball tournament. Stars versus Body Body Bombers. You can say it was a brutal match, very mayhem, but I can tell you this, it was Tekla who brought down the chest, and of course, Body Body Bombers won this year. However, Tekla made a declaration and issued a challenge for the high speed belt against May Seda. Now, we know last year Tekla has challenged this belt but lost. So basically, she's getting another opportunity, and she probably is going to declare herself as double champion, kind of like Julie is. But it's not. But we'll see what happens until then. I think that's pretty much it for Stardom. So let's move on with AEW Full Gear. Okay, AEW Full Gear. We start up with, of course, the 0 hour show, which is like the pre show. Our first one is the ROH World Championship. Jay Lethal gets his opportunity to challenge for this belt against A. Kingston, and of course, that little weasel, Stokely Hathaway, who has feel like the title has been disrespected by Eddie Kingston. Well, he decided to watch it. And of course, Jay Lethal was going to have the dickwads by his side. I'm referring to Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh, and Karen Jarrett. Now, there were some good moments where things were becoming clearer, but however, Ortiz showed up when the guitar was being in play. Then he utilized it against Sanjay Dutt, who looks more like he needs to go to a hospital. But it was, of course, Eddie Kingston with the back fist, and it was over right there to retain the title. Now, our next match we have, of course, is Buddy Matthews versus Claudio Castagnoli. Now, the day before, Buddy Matthews faced against Wheeler Yuta. He defeated him, but he was attempting to take him out. However, Claudio showed up, the helping hand, so this time he challenged him into a match. I have to say, this is one of those hard-hitting matches you definitely want to enjoy, but in the end, it was a sharpshooter by Claudio onto Buddy Matthews to pick up the win. Now, our next match is the ROH World Tag Team titles. We have the Ass Boys, Colton and Austin Gunn, taking on MJF and, of course, Samoa Joe. Now, it seems like things were going well. I mean, we did see the kangaroo kick, but at some point we did notice the arrival of Adam Cole, who distracted the Ass Boys one way or the other, giving, of course, the roll up by MJF to pick up the win. However, the chokehold by Samoa Joe onto Austin Gunn. But however, the Ass Boys took a retaliation and took out MJF by attacking his knee and leg. So basically, we don't know what's at stake here. So I think that's pretty much it. What we have now. When we start the main card, it opened up with, of course, woo, Ric Flair making his way to the ring. We have team number one, Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland taking on Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. Now, Christian Cage wanted this match to happen because he wants to end the career of Sting a lot sooner rather than later. But however, that didn't do any well. There was some interesting moments, but however, Christian Cage was able to run away like the coward that he is, allowing for a coffin drop and then, of course, a pinfall. By Adam Copeland, and that was pretty much it from there. Now, our next interview, we do see, in the stage area, Bryce Remsburg, as you know, for what happened at the with MJF. Jay White was attempting to say MJF is out, so declare him as the champion. But however, Adam Cole showed up saying that I will defend that belt in MJF's honor, which of course he did. But of course, White had no issues whatsoever. So he gladly accepted, knowing that Adam Cole is one-legged. Our next match is the AEW International Championship. Now, this is one of those fantastic stories where it tells us that Orange Cassidy, who has been a well-respected champion who defended it proudly, but the one thing that still goes out of his head is that loss he had with Moxley. So that kind of like he wants to rectify that one, try to right a wrong to it. I have to say, he pulled off amazing orange punches and then finally the beach break to retain the title. Now, some people may not like the idea of this, but it is what it is. Next up, the AEW Women's title, we have Toni Storm taking on Hikaru Shida. I have to say, many fans are enjoying the timeless Toni Storm, which is no surprise. But Mariah May, who is a big fan of Toni Storm, was watching from a distance. But it was, of course, a very strong hip attack by Toni Storm to put away Hikaru Shida to become the brand new, and I think she's a two-time AEW Women's World Champion. Next up, we have, of course, the AEW World Tag Team titles in the ladder match. Team number one, Malachi Black and Brody King, known as the Kings of the Black Throne, versus LFI, consistent of Rush and Tralistico, versus FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Ruler, versus the champions, Big Bill and Ricky Starks. So there was going to be a lot of factors in this particular match. It would have played out in every way. I mean, one team could be taken out from the other, but in the end, it was, of course, big Ricky Starks to pull down the belt, giving him the win. Now, kind of missed an interview that it was on my notes that says that Eddie Kingston was in Rene Paquette. He announced that he is now the next participant in the Continental Continental Classic that he's in. So he said that he's now raising the stakes. He's going to defend both the ROH and the New Japan Strong Openweight title on these particular days. So basically, a lot of pressure is going to be coming into him. Now, our next match is the TBS title. Julia versus Sky Blue versus Chris Statlander. Now, we know Julia Hart has challenged for this belt before, but she lost. I thought this was a pretty good match. But however, it was Chris Statlander that had this match won. But if it wasn't for Julia Hart, that took advantage by pinning, what's her name? Sky Blue. And that ended right there. So Julia Hart becomes the new TBS champion by pinning, what's her name? By pinning Sky Blue just like that. Now, Tony Schiavone was in the ring. Apparently, a new announcement was announced. We have a brand new signing, and we're talking about the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. Now, many people were like wondering why this soon. We know that his contract doesn't expire by the end of February of 2024. However, it appears that he sort things out with New Japan, and this was something that Dave Meltzer did mention, and it was also brought upon that he wants to have the opportunity to wrestle at All In for 2024 for the AEW World Title, which of course they can definitely give him that. So that's one of the main reasons for that. Now our next match is a Texas Death Match. Swerve Strickland versus a Hangman Adam Page. Now you know this match is going to be brutal, bloody, all this. But I thought it was great to see Nana get taken out by by Hangman at some point. But however, this is one of those matches, of course, where Strickland is determined to prove that he deserves to be at the top spot, despite the fact that Hangman Page used to be in a top spot, but he's determined to get back. But of course, it ended with, of course, Hangman being choked and, of course, not responsive. But however, Swerve thinks that this is his house and now in LA and in Texas, but we'll see what happens until then. Our next match. Hold on. I think I missed a match. Oh yeah, I did. Let's go back to the beginning of this card. We did see Ric Flair coming out, who is supporting Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. Now, of course, there were some good factors of this match. Now, of course, Ric Flair, known as the dirtiest player in the game, was going to get involved, but Christian Cage low-blowed Ric Flair. But however, Christian Cage actually ran like the coward that he is. But it was Adam Copeland that picked up the win by, was it spearing? Yes, but no, by a coffin drop by Darby Allin onto Luchasaurus, and then Adam Copeland picking up the win. But one thing that was great is, of course, is Darby Allin telling the fan base to give cheers to Sting, since this will be the last time he'll be in California, which is 100% true. So I thought it was a great touch. Now let's move on to our next. I think this is the semifinal match. Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega taking on the Bucks. Now there's a big interesting stipulation. If Kenny and Chris Jericho win, they will get an opportunity at the tag titles. But however, if they lose, they are no longer the team up again. This was something that the Bucks requested. You know there was going to be a lot of no holding backs in this particular match, but however, it was, of course, Kenny Omega with the one-wing angel to allow them to win. But of course, the one person who's not happy with this win is none other than Don Callis, who had his fair issues with Kenny Omega recently since this year, but we'll see where that plays out as well. Now, our next match is the AEW World Title. Adam Cole was going to face against Jay White, but all of a sudden the ambulance shows up, and it was, of course, MJF tried the face show up, so it became Jay White versus MJF, and of course there was going to be some factors. But however, in this particular match as well, we did see the Ass Boys got their hands caught in the cookie jar. Bryce Remsburg told them take a hike, which they did. However, at some point another thing happened. Ref was out. The Ass Boys trying to show up to help, to give the helping hand. Then the diamond ring was put in play by, of course, Jay White, when Adam Cole was attempting to help him, but however that did not work because he got low blowed from that. And then of course another diamond strike by MJF to Jay White. 1, 2, 3, it's over. So I have to say, pretty good show. I enjoyed it. It was really great. So I think that's pretty much it for our reviews. Let's move on with some news updates. into our news updates, so let's get started. Now, if you guys saw what happened in the previous show, where we have the Halloween show from Stardom, we saw a second generation Sexy Dynamite Princess. According to Hana in her social media, she revealed the identity of it, claims that this is the daughter of one of her cousins. So basically, that's what she's saying, but we all know that's her anyway. It's no secret. Interesting developments across the border down here in Tijuana, Mexico. As you know, I'm from San Diego. The the Tijuana Boxing and Wrestling Commission has revealed that they have suspended 7 luchadors and 1 ref due to an unauthorized show. Now, some of you may question, really, can they do that? Yes, I mean, there's people like that everywhere we go. They should be having people like that here in the States, but down there, yes. Don't know where it was going to be at, but it was there. Now, Deadlock Pro Wrestling has announced that Jay Malachi has relinquished his championship. Now, Jay Malachi is amongst those who has been recruited by WWE. Basically, he was also the DPW World Champion, so he relinquished it. He's the 3rd champion, and of course, basically, people are going to be paying attention with his vacancy whatsoever. Now, interesting developments. Buff Bagwell, you may remember from the NWO, has been arrested for DUI, which is a big no-no. But not much information has been told, but we'll get to that point at some point. Now, if you guys know this or not, Sareee, or as we know her, Sareee, has announced for their upcoming show for the Sareee-ISM on the 16th of January. It's going to be at the Shinjuku Face at Tokyo. The main event features a 1-fall 60-minute time limit. Sareee will face off against Chihiro Hashimoto. This is part 2 between them. And then, of course, we do have a tag match. Miyu Momono of Marvelous and Riko Kawahara, they team up. They take on against Arusa Inaba and Tomoka Inaba. So the Inaba sisters will be wrestling. Then there's Takumi Iroha versus Miyuki Takase. Then after that is Kaito Ito taking on Arisa Nakajima. They take on Kurumi Higure and Sayaka Unagi Sayaka. Whoa, that's going to be interesting. So yes. And then finally, there's a match, names that mention a tag match. We do have Jaguar Yokata and Aja Kong. Now, not much about their opponents, but we'll see what happens until then. But for now, I think that's pretty much it, what we have for our news updates. Let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode coming up. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to be reviewing. There's still a lot that I need to review. But I'm just going to wing it, just to be honest with you, to be fair with everyone here. So we'll see where that leads us from here on out. But for now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.